Hi, thanks for clicking on my video. My name is Alejandra Sofia and this is Star Power Alchemy YouTube, delivering to you the astrological news from the macrocosm to the microcosm of you. This week of March 25th to March 31st is on fire, and as these weeks keep unfolding through 2019 and we move through the sun, the sign of Aries, it is lighting up. So I'm going to do things a little differently today. For those of you who've been listening to my weekly report for a few months now, I am going to go day by day. And so I'm looking at from March 25th today to March 31st. And in this time frame, the moon is going to move from today it's in Sagittarius, and then it's going to end the week on Sunday at the moon in Aquarius. So it's a significant week with several aspects happening before I go through day by day. The most significant, there's two highly significant things happening, and it is Mercury and Neptune are in exact conjunction right now from today, well, it started a couple of days ago, but from this point of right now, March 25th at 6 p.m. Pacific time, Oregon time, Southern Oregon time, the Mercury is in exact conjunction by degree with Neptune. They're both at the 17th degree frequency of PiSCES. And I always round up. For those of you who are listening to me for the first time, I always round up to the next degree. So starting with 0 degrees Aries, it would be 1 degrees. So just speaking from that point. So with this week we have Mercury in a powerful conjunction with Neptune. Please watch my Mercury-Neptune conjunction, Fantasize to Realize You Are the Dreamer, Dreamin' You. So and any of my other Pisces videos to get really up to date with what's happening if you haven't tuned into those things. And then the other aspect is Pluto is moving into an exact conjunction with the South Node, the past. And so with Pluto, these are the two main aspects of the week. And then we have some planetary movements of the personal planets, Venus moving into the sign of Pisces and Mars moving into the sign of Gemini. So they've been in fixed signs for the last few weeks, and now they're both this week moving into mutable signs. Gemini is an air sign and Pisces is a water sign. Just to add more watery juiciness to the intensely, deeply Piscean field that we're all swimming in, with Mercury and Neptune conjunct this week. So now, to go through this week day by day, we'll start with today, the 25th, with the moon in Sagittarius, a fiery moon. It's been a fiery moon making aspects to the sun, to Chiron in Aries, and then tomorrow on the 26th, making an exact conjunction with Jupiter in Sagittarius. So the field is lit and alive this morning. And I wonder, those of you who woke up this morning, if you're feeling that today, or if you're not feeling it, just however you feel like sharing, this could be a great way to to connect with each other. So please comment as this resonates with you. I appreciate that so much. A field alive today. That is what Sagittarius is. It's alive with the field of possibilities, and it's lit underfoot. It's mythical, it's magical, it's mystical, and it's on fire. It's spiritual fire, moving in all these directions. And I want to do this, and I can become all that, right? So with these strong trines, I'm looking down at my book. That's why I look down, and I also got my computer over here. So with the moon in Sagittarius making a trine contact to Chiron and the sun today, just really lit up the field. And while we're having this ongoing Saturn and Pluto conjunction, that is the overriding energy of this year. That is the strongest aspect of this year, is Saturn conjuncting Pluto. So there's a real compression for those of us who are really surrendering to grow into all these places we haven't been maturing in, to fill up our channels. channels. This is a compression time to get us to stand, the Saturn and Pluto conjunction, to get us to stand within our present moment and overcome these obstacles of our emotional body. So that's the deep power of this week, of, you know, part of this fine tuning that Mercury is like a diver, just like a, you know, consciousness, a reporter. Okay, there we go. It's like a reporter diving, going, okay, I'm going down, I'm gonna go journal about the deep sea, and it's diving into the deep sea of dreams, but you find so much there. That's the thing that happens with Pisces. It can be so murky and unclear, and that's why you've got to use the power of perception and the power of connecting in with your energy centers, and you're connecting in with these energy centers that ground you in reality and that can help you intuitively sense what's true and what's not true, because there is a lot of murky, vampiric energy in the world, right? And a lot of deception. So much deception, and there's no greater deception than self-deception. And then actually maybe there is another greater deception, and it's conscious deception. It's methodical deception, and that's real, right? And so it's conscious. I'm consciously choosing to deceive, and methodically doing that, and being very consciously calculating and hurtful, and so that's part of, like, you know, as we're gaining power in ourselves, is learning to use these immense, tremendous faculties that we have as humans to feel and to choose the right routes for us. So for those of us who are really choosing to be integral with compassion and empathy and caring, and to be aligned and synchronized with, you know, these immense treasures of the heart that, you know, Buddhism speaks to, of these treasures, these immaculate spiritual opportunities, and how to live in our bodies and to be integrated in the fire, water, air, earth elements that are really streaming through us in our energy body. And I speak to that because of Chiron in Aries as well. There's a real Chiron in the early degrees of Aries is like energized. There is a real feeling of energy and having more contact, like trusting your energy, trusting what's happening, like really listen to your energy body and when it gets energized and de-energized. And there's a real fine-tuning ability right now, you know, a lot of positive elements to help us get to see the truth. Get to see the truth and no longer be in like this doubt and confusion. And part of that initiation into these truth realms is getting real with your own truth, because that's part of this massive deep sea journaling, that the reporter in you that's just like, okay, I'm on a mission. I'm going to go deep sea diving into myself to like really find out the truth of what's happening on, you know, inside of me and what I want, to sort out the truth, to sort out who you are from the rest of the world, and to also fine tune yourself to the extent that you can tell and you can feel when you're not being told the truth. Like, to me, it's becoming more and more obvious. I feel a lot more connection with all the work I've been doing on myself these last 10 years. I feel like increasingly more connection to my intuitive inner knowing and how much it's connected to my power. Like I'm learning the circuitry of myself. I'm super psycho-splunking the circuitry of my emotional body, mental body, and learning how it all works together. And there is a template, there's a human blueprint with that's general, and which is what astrology weaves into. And it weaves into our the mythical, mystical, metaphysical planets that are living beings streaming through us. They stream through our energy body and our earth body, but for people who aren't really, you know, waking up and choosing to understand how these amazing superpower faculties work, and to channel them in rightful, good, artistic, energetic arenas of self-empowerment, and wholeness. So it's a return to wholeness. It's a return to the whole state. That's who Chiron is. Chiron is holos, H-O-L-O-S. That's another word, another name for holos, or for Chiron. And another name for Chiron is Alpha Omega. for my astrological lineage that I work with, Star Genesis. And so this week with this fine tuning, so I'm going to continue down the week. With Venus moves into Pisces on the 26th, and that's tomorrow, with Moon on March 26th, with the Moon conjuncting Sagittarius, Venus moving into Pisces, Mercury doing this strong conjunction to Neptune, an exact conjunction with Neptune in Pisces, and Pluto. This is all the bigger aspects, and they're coming together, right? And so tomorrow, March 26th, really feels like a day of more exploratory discovery. Venus comes into Venus, the goddess. She's coming out of Aquarius she's going deep down in to help serve your own soul, to restore order through your dreams, right? Because if you're not in sync and in line with your dreams, and you keep giving your energy and time to a structure, daily structure, time management, things that you don't really want to be doing that are actually de-energizing you, she's going to be like, well, I'm going to come in here to really help you tune in to your energy, because she's beauty and love, and she's the inner jewels, and she wants to be restored, and she needs to be restored through dreams. So that's a big one right there. And so so Venus moving into the sign of Pisces, with Mercury and with Moon in Sagittarius coming into a conjunction with Jupiter in Sag at about 7:37 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow. So that's just keep discovering, keep opening up, keep saying yes, feel the excitement, feel the magic, choose magic. Reality is magical. And synchronistic. Feel the synchronicities as you're opening up more to reception to the laws of attraction and how this universe works, and you just come into reception to your abundance, and don't put it on things that I must have this in order to be abundant, to prove that I'm abundant. It's just opening up and feeling your abundance. Like, feel it right now. Venus is going to come into Pisces and say, I feel here I am at the bottom of the earth, and I feel the truth of who I am and this experience that I'm having, and it is love. And so allowing this beautiful injection of love, infusion of love to pour through you. And what love is dynamic. Love is fierce. Love is many, many, many things. And love morphs. It doesn't it's not this is love, and this is love. Like we're all having our own journey with finding ourselves and returning to wholeness, especially after we've been living under a rule of deception, getting back to that finally. So that there's no greater a deception than self-deception. And so as you receive to overcome self-deception is to be receptive to the truth, and let that spirit inside of you rise to say yes to yourself, to love yourself unconditionally. And you loving yourself unconditionally absolutely opens doors in general to unconditional love to others. Yes, you and our how we're relating to other people and the world, and these when we feel judgment, when we feel ourselves close off through other people, that's a great ground for you to get to know yourself, is through your relationships, because it's much more visible. And in order to get into these invisible parts of us of like, who am I? And to understand how you think and to go deeper. And that's the thing. That's what this Pisces, this amazing, potent Piscean week that we're in next couple of weeks, but especially this week, because Mercury is stationing to move direct on Thursday. So now to move forward onto Wednesday, Moon moves into the sign of Capricorn, and so Saturn and Pluto are in the sign of Capricorn. There's an initiation happening right now. If you're rising up in your life and you're taking more responsibility, that means you're responding to all these areas of your life in ways that you're maturing in these areas of life that needed maturing. There's something this week, there's a challenge to meet that response, to meet how you're growing up, to meet where you've been saying no, and to turn towards it and say, yes, I will confront. So there's a confrontation confrontation this week. One way or another, there's a confrontation. And these are initiations into Earth of like dealing with reality. So if anything comes into your reality this week that has been, that you could in previous versions of yourself looked at as disappointment, don't let it take you down. You're going through Earth Magic training ground initiation. These are important, vital experiences of confrontation with reality as is. And what's needed, more importantly, is for you to show up and know that you're part of this reality creating environment. So coming into self-knowledge, Capricorn, self-knowledge. The true empowered Capricorn is a sky dragon, dragon medicine for Capricorn, for living in reality with all of who you are and your alchemical self-empowerment of you being in the knowledge that you are a living monolithic God. Some of you are getting what I mean, to come into that creative power. To come into your creative power is you tapping into dragon medicine. So these initiations to tap you into deeper power sources of who you really are so that you can power up and confront the realities around you, because so with the moon in Capricorn through the 27th and the 28th, and then coming into a conjunction, it's going to come into a conjunction with Saturn and Pluto, the key aspect of this year, 2019, and they come into conjunction at 10 p.m. and at 4:35 a.m. Okay, so at 10 p.m. Pacific time on March 28th, which is the same day that Mercury moves direct. So there's some intensity coming up and some challenge. And so the challenge here too is to keep getting clear with yourself, because people, that's part of like what the moon in Capricorn and these other elements, especially with Aries right now, is learning to stand in your new power. There's a way in which we're learning, there's some way we're learning to stand in our new power. And so these things might come to challenge you, and likely will, and hopefully they do, so that you can learn to stand up and not doubt yourself. And even if you're in the wrong, still don't doubt yourself, because that's part of the Capricornian agenda, is like, oh, wow, yeah, I made a mistake. Okay, I got to reroute that. I got to relearn. It's not being so, it's like the old Capricorn would just like come down on to this, to be really self-critical. And so manage yourself, your negative talk. Be positive in all instances. That's the opportunity. Keep turning that around. Keep turning around the emotional story, and so that you're constantly empowering yourself and fine-tuning yourself for self-empowerment no matter what. So if you made a mistake, just like, yeah, let's say you're out of integrity, and that's not a big deal. Just get back into integrity. And part of how you get back into integralness with yourself is just like, all right, yeah, I did do that. And whatever it is that you have to cop to, that's the main confrontation. That's the main confrontation happening inwardly. And then how it comes out into this visible field of interplay with other people. Just looking at the time here, so I got a couple minutes left. So here we are advancing, and the moon, it's Friday the 29th, and we've got the moon at 4:35 a.m. in conjunction with Pluto. So Pacific time. So the 28th, Mercury moves direct. The 29th, here we are making these powerful contacts of the moon in Capricorn to Saturn and Pluto. There's some shifting happening. 28th, 29th, shifting. Just keep getting clear with yourself. Keep powering up. The people around you may not agree with you. You got to get clear with yourself, right? That's the big thing. Get clear with yourself. Trust yourself. Believe in yourself, even if you make a mistake. Okay, moving forward. So now it's Saturday the 30th, and the moon is moving into Aquarius, and Mars moves into Gemini, and Pluto conjuncts the South Node. That is major. That is major for Pluto. The last time Pluto came into conjunction with the South Node was in 2002, okay? And that was in the sign of Sagittarius. So this is the one and only time that Pluto and Capricorn will come into a conjunction with the South Node. And the South Node has to do with the deep past. It's where we're coming from. It's the dragon's tail. Wow. And we've got Capricorn. So I just got that one. I never got that. I haven't gotten that one up until today. So here we have the South Node's the dragon's dragon's tail, and it's in the sign of Capricorn, and the true Capricorn is an empowered dragon. So there is something really deep, and this is going down deep into some deep areas of collective unconsciousness, in which our history needs to be rerouted. Our history needs to be resorted. And so that's just being willing to keep releasing this story of Earth that we've been, if you were matriculated through an educational system that was not alternative, that was just, you know, standardized schooling, then there's really a lot to question. That is one of the big areas where the scripted story is getting embodied in our emotional bodies as children. Okay, and I was matriculated, and I did not go to any special Waldorf school and whole child school. It was all through the mainstream educational system of the 70s and 80s, and I think there's a lot of problems, a lot of separation, a lot of disconnection. And that is the week we're in, and the times that we're in, where Pisces wants to reconnect all the dots of all the ways we got lost and distorted and unsorted and torn apart inside of our own emotional body, and how our parents and the people who raised us were caught in the same drama and story. And so this is a story of reconnection. It's a story of wholeness. It's a story of union and reunion and coming back together and joining others too. There is a evolutionary wave on planet Earth of people leading the way of meeting human potential and what's possible for us as individuals, and we each have to take it up on our own, and we have a family and we have a tribe. So joining the tribe of evolutionaryists and transformational artists to synchronize with our own personal human potential and the human potential. And so that's Mars. Here we are at Saturday the 30th, Pluto in Capricorn, conjunct the South Node, Mars going into Gemini. It's just things, we're just like raising the bar. So what do you do when a people begins to become empowered? When we start becoming more empowered, more doors open up. So there are doors opening up. I just want to keep going, and it's already at 23 minutes. But so Mars in Gemini is like a warrior standing going, oh my God, I've got all these doorways and all these possibilities. Who do I want to become? And then Pluto in Capricorn it's demolishing. If you're up for self-empowerment and releasing yourself from disempowerment disorders, it's about standing in your power, overcoming obstacles, psychological obstacles, coming into emotional mastery. Keep toughening up, keep pushing yourself, and releasing yourself from your own self-judgment, and you will release the world from self-judgment, and you will open up all these doors of possibilities of who you can be, of who you can become, and who you want to become are the dreams that are dreaming you to life. And there we go. That's the news. This is Star Power Alchemy at YouTube. If you're interested in readings at any time, email me at starpoweralchemy@gmail.com. My website is being worked on, and please subscribe, and also check me out on Instagram. I'm posting daily these days, so you can also find me there at Star Power Alchemy. Sending y'all much love.